so much pressure, so much at stake. You want to succeed. No one wants to walk away with very little, if not nothing, at the end of this. Are you willing to try something new at this point? We must get the win.
We're hitting the final stretch to get towards champs. Look how close it is! They've got nowhere to run! And that might be the moment that decides this game.
Absolutely perfect.
We got one event next week, and then we got champs coming up.
God, this is insane.
What a round!
We're so close to the end of the season, you know, this is the event. And then boom, playoffs and champs.
Hello and welcome to the final home series weekend of the Call of Duty League. It's the Toronto Ultra home series, and as we fly over their beautiful city, I am delighted to welcome two gentlemen who embody the Ultra mentality, Miles and Chance. Miles, my friend, comrade, are you feeling Ultra today?
Lottie, I am feeling Ultra AF, and I know we're supposed to open shows with a degree of decorum and be a little chill and, you know, welcome everyone to their seats, but I just can't today. I'm ready to go. I'm Ultra AF.
Good.
Let's do this.
Good, that's exactly what we want from you, Miles. Chance, you incredible Call of Duty encyclopedia, are you feeling Ultra today?
I don't know what it means, but yes, I think I am feeling Ultra. Something coursing through my veins has me excited for the weekend, and I guess Ultra is just that special something.
Oh, it is indeed. I'm feeling very Ultra today too. We need to take you to your Ultra incredible CDL schedule, presented, of course, by Game Fuel. Let's talk about Friday. We've got an incredible schedule ahead of us. We got Minnesota Røkkr taking on Atlanta FaZe beginning the day. Then we got Dallas Empire with the Florida Mutineers, Seattle Search versus Chicago Huntsmen, and then our Game Fuel marquee match is going to be OpTic Gaming taking on Toronto Ultra. That's being your Friday schedule presented by US Army. Some really big dogs in the competition today, Miles. We've got a lot of incredible teams here. Is this competition this weekend getting a little bit heated up, do you think?
Oh, I think absolutely. These are the biggest dogs in the league, and they're all going to be barking on the same day. I cannot wait to see what all of them bring, and it's honestly the wildest weekend of Call of Duty we've had. There's a few home series in the past where we're like, wow, this is so stacked, it's so great, but this really is it. This is the top of the mountain. We're hitting the absolute climax here as we go towards playoffs and go towards champs. It's going to be very, very exciting indeed, and yeah, these are the biggest dogs. They're all barking, and someone's going to get neutered by the end of the day, though. That's the truth, just the way it is. It's happening. It's happening.
I like the choice of words there. Miles couldn't be more accurate, I don't think. We do have a stacked tournament in store for you guys. Chance, with all of these big dogs playing in the same competition, what does it mean for some of our teams, like heading into playoffs and heading into champs? You know, how much really is on the line this weekend?
I mean, as far as like on the line, like maybe not everything, but for momentum's sake, for confidence, pretty much this is it, right? This is the deciding factor. If you have a fantastic tournament here and good showing against like the other best teams in the world, you're going to go into champs knowing that you can come away with a victory. If you have teams that right now, even if they're at the top of the CDL standings, but they've been struggling recently, and then they start getting bullied out by other teams at the top, that means for the next 2 weeks, it's almost like panic mode. It's like we got to figure out how to turn our game around, and time is of the essence because we are just a few weeks away. So this is the tournament that really tells us exactly where every team is going to be at going into champs.
Time is ticking, that is for sure. We're going to have a look right now at our CDL points, because obviously our points are extremely important coming into playoffs and coming into champs. The seeding is where it's at. Chance, I'm going to steal you again just for a moment real quick, because we need to talk numbers here. We need to talk about how this is all going to play out for some of our teams on the board. So in terms of seeding and what this weekend means, talk to me about it. How does this work?
All right, the big dogs at the top, all of them are still capable of getting in the top 2 seed. That's great. They want confidence, all well and good. But the spicy part is towards the bottom. It is trying to avoid the losers bracket at all costs. And you right now have a foot race in between Paris, OpTic, and of course Toronto, the home series kind of contenders as well. And this is where the pressure is, because you got potential tie-break scenarios and things that are going to get wild. But the short version is OpTic are 20 points down. They need to, at the very least, make it out of the semifinals to have an opportunity to crack the top 8. You have Toronto 30 points down, which means they have to get at least second place to have a chance at making it. And of course, it depends on tiebreakers. And the way the tiebreakers work, it's that head-to-head matchup, and then it goes to map count and series and all this and that. But all of it starts at the head-to-head. And so that marquee matchup that we have at the end of the day, Toronto versus OpTic, might be the shifting plate of like whoever gets that win, gets that edge in the head-to-head, and gives that level of comfortability. But it's the foot race towards the bottom. These teams need to get at least 100 points, and this is why the weekend, it cannot be kicked off in a better way.
This is why I love having you here, Chance, because if you had seen me a moment ago as a meme, you'd just seen these numbers passing through my head, just floating around. I'm not a mathematician by any means, so it's great having you on board here to tell us exactly how it all works. We've got to talk about Dallas, though. Miles, Dallas showed an extremely dominant performance last weekend in the London home series, taking that victory so nicely, so confidently. Are they the hottest team in the CDL right now?
I think they're the leader of the pack. They're the biggest dog right now we've got, and I think, not even current form, which is disgusting right now. I mean, obviously we saw what we could arguably call some perfect Call of Duty at times in the last home series, the London Royal Ravens home series. The biggest showing we've had so far in the Team KD has come out of the Empire, 1.22 in that last one. It's not even just current form, it's the way the game sits right now. It's the meta shift, it's that heavier stack towards the assault rifle players. It's Dallas Empire from top to bottom. I just don't see another team coming as close right now, but this weekend will be the most brilliant test going into playoffs, seeing where everyone truly sits. But for me right now, there's just enough of an edge towards the Dallas Empire.
Yeah, Chance, they actually had the best game record in a home series, which is 12-1. Just insane stuff, and clearly that meta is doing something for them. Is this team the one to knock off the pedestal this weekend? Is this who some of our top dogs, or even some of our teams who are maybe lesser down the points board, need to kind of take them off that pedestal this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. This is who you're trying to gun down, because what we saw from Dallas Empire this past weekend, it was the closest we've seen to perfect Call of Duty this entire year. And if their gameplay is going to be that clean through and through, on top of all the slaying power and talent that the team already has, that forces everyone else that they're going to have to kick it up a notch just to match them. That means FaZe is now going to have to start playing perfect Call of Duty. The same thing for Florida, the same thing for Chicago. They're really making sure that the competition is as spicy as it could be towards the end of the year.
Well, that is wonderful. We love a spicy competition, that's for sure. We're going to head over to our Game Fuel keys to victory right now. Miles, I'm heading over to you for Atlanta FaZe. What do these guys need to do to ensure it's FaZe up, not FaZe down?
To see a big FaZe up here, we want to see better utilization of kills in Hardpoint. We're backing that up with the stats. The 4 members of FaZe had above a 1.05 at the New York home series, despite going 2-2 overall. So that means that these guys are doing everything they possibly can on game and in field to find as many kills as possible, but they're not necessarily translating that to map wins. And this has been a continuing problem for FaZe. A lot of kills across the board, but not necessarily turning it into suitable hardpoint time, turning it into flag caps or turnovers there in domination maps. And it's just something that FaZe have to tune up. And again, you've got the capability on this squad, but there is something in execution that is lacking just somewhat when it comes to those respawn modes.
Fantastic stuff. Game Fuel keys to victory for Minnesota Røkkr. Chance, these boys have been paddling upstream. What do they need to do to rock the boat today?
Oh, they have to turn everything around. Like, their search and destroy, I think they're 1-6 in their past 7. You can't have bad search against FaZe. They're going to blow you out of the water. And then maybe even more importantly, assuming they've put the work in for the search in the past few weeks, they really have to come out strong in this first hardpoint. They are, I think, tied in hardpoint compared to FaZe in the head-to-head. You're going to have to start out hot, because it's an uphill battle. If Minnesota loses that first map, that is going to make this series next to impossible to take FaZe down in their current form. So get a hot start, make sure your S&D is clean, and then at the very least there's going to be hope.
Moving on right now to predictions brought to you by Sony's Xperia smartphone. Miles, we're starting with you, mate. Who you taking?
Look, I think this is going to be a 3-2 that goes the way of FaZe. I think FaZe have had, a lot of very comfortable, reverse sweeps. I come from game 5 situations. I think this is no bad territory for them. They're very familiar here. I still see a big turnaround here from Minnesota Røkkr. I see themselves pulling this one close. I see some good games. They're definitely going to take 2 off of them, in my mind. Whether or not we go the distance, if it has to get there, I give the edge to FaZe. But I think it's going to be a tight series.
Okay, I love it. Chance, are we agreeing here?
Absolutely, yeah. I think FaZe is in a great spot for this series. I will say towards the start of the year, Minnesota sort of had that magic matchup against FaZe where they had the right combination, right speeds to take him down. But at this point of the year, Minnesota has won 2 series in their last 4 tournaments. FaZe wins at minimum 2 series at every single tournament they've played this entire year. I think FaZe has been too consistently strong for them to really falter here, which means, again, Minnesota is going to have to be at their absolute best to make this a competition. So unless that happens, in my mind, FaZe 3-1, 3-0.
I've had word that the game is started. I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to say 3-1. I'm on the side of on Chance here. I do think FaZe are going to close this one out and Rokkr maybe take a map. Gents, the game is ready. It's a final home series here of the Call of Duty League. I can't believe it. Let's go get it.
Let's get it. I can't believe it as well. It's crazy to think how fast this year has flown by. Honestly, it's just it's quite scary, And we're all the way here, almost at the end, almost at the finish line. It's within sight. I don't know where to start with this one, Charles. Getting all emotional, mate.
It's so close to the end, Miles, and I don't know what to do, but we gotta stay strong. We gotta make sure our game plan is on point, and we have to be at the level that these teams are gonna be, because it's one of those situations where the pros are so good at Call of Duty that they'll figure out, 90-some-odd% of the game in the first couple weeks. They're that good. Now we're to the point of year where it is about the details, who can make those better sneaky plays, and who can really just make sure that they have a lock on the read of what Modern Warfare is gonna bring to the table. So it's the nitty gritty. This is the action. And Miles, we're kicking off at least the weekend on Rammaza.
Rammaza, again we go. The beginning of the end of our home series here in 2020. Let's get it. A strong one for Minnesota Røkkr to try to turn their season around. Better late than never, but they've got a big old mountain to climb here in the form of Atlanta FaZe. On board with GodRx, trying to make some form of an entry here towards the bottom side of the map. Selim on the other side of that door. What a rip that was. GodRx gets involved early on, and he's managed to... Nope, okay, host has ended the game. Chance? Things were just getting good.
This seems like par for the course. Now, Miles, I don't know how much of this you've gotten this year, but anytime we have a reset or something like that, or a weird map or whatever kind of issue, it seems like at least towards the start of the year, I was getting all of those. So I'm used to this. I've been here before. No idea what the issue is. I'm sure it'll get sorted out, hopefully fairly quickly. And then, of course, we go back to Rammaza, and it's a fun map to kick off on because this is a map that Atlanta FaZe has not played a ton of. It is not their best map. And then for Minnesota, I think 6-5 record. They're happy to be here on Rammaza. And that, again, highlights the point of Minnesota. It's an opportunity. It's a good map for them to kick off the series with. And it is, in my mind, a necessity that they open up with a win.
I think you're absolutely right. Well, we have confirmation there was a comms error, a TeamSpeak issue, one of the referees not being able to join server. So we're going to restart this one very, very quickly. I do want to give props. One of the teams who, throughout the league, I've given a lot of kudos to for trying to run things right, and whether it's fan engagements, whether it's how they're handling the team. And right now, you can actually see in everyone's POVs there on those cameras, they are socially distant. They are 6 feet apart from one another there in the Minnesota facility. In the back of Assault's cam, I think you can see Alex spinning around in his chair. In the back of GodRx's seat, you can see Silly. It's just wonderful to see that. Again, Minnesota Røkkr doing everything they can to get the edge over their opponents here, and we do wish them the best of luck. I can't quite tell where Asim is based on that one. He may be actually at home, but the rest of the squad doing what they can to stay up close and personal as Alex takes one last chug of his game fuel to get themselves into this one. And we saw an interesting start off the break there. We saw GodRx with that early kill. Highly expect to see something similar, but I wonder if the read comes through from Selim there as he watches that bottom side position chance.
That actually is an interesting conversation of how much effort, as far as hard points go, you study the other team's setups, but one of the most important things is you study their opening breaks, and you try to figure out, is this a team where we can send players on the flank to go for spawns? Are they going to be so spread out we can bully towards the hill? So already, just the fact that we had that initial thing, well, now GodRx has the opportunity. Well, I got the kills. Do I want to run the same thing back? Or now would it's an interesting conversation that the players do have to go through, and this is one of those things that they get 30 seconds seconds to talk over the strategy. And Røkkr, hey, going back to Old Faithful, it worked the first time, but you see the adjustment that at least Celium has made.
Indeed. He's already put himself up in a power position by the top of the buses. Røkkr, fool me once. Not going to fool me twice, though, are you? There we go. The kill comes through. Cell's going to get it, but the war up top has been won. Rokkr managed to find a few kills. Alex will get the first few moments of the hard point. As things may have looked a little different downstairs, up top. Minnesota now starting this one off with a few kills. And again, Ramal's a difficult map to win a hard point on. Of course, easily to be punished there. Got to look out for those early rotations. You have to set your eye towards that next hard point, and a firm grip on control of the spawns is going to be essential for either squad. But so far, so good for Rokkr.
Absolutely, and a pretty great spot. You see Priesta popping up in the feed, picking up a couple kills, and frankly, that is a bounce back that is massive for FaZe to be able to pull off. You don't want to go into the second hill, even if you get the full setup, and are good for a lot of points, down by a ton, so getting this scrap on P1 will help them long term, and of course, now that fight, you can turn your attention over towards that new hill. 2 players on the Røkkr you see trying to force their way in, and Simp, the lone man defending, picked up both of them as a result of the C in the kill feed.
Simp's going to get control of the hard point when it flips over now. Here comes the push from Minnesota. Rokkr lining up, making their way through the back alleyway. No angles to work with. They're going to try to brute force this one right through the front. Sim able to get one. Stays alive for now. Røkkr now keeping the fight alive. Silly goes down as well. A beautiful work from Sim there. 5 and 3, I believe, early on. 2 crucial kills there in the hard point. It's going to keep it in control of Atlanta FaZe. And once again, Rokkr have got to take this once again from the back. Same position.
They're trying to get their way. Yep, same position, my bad, bro. They're trying to get their way in the same spot. Just that flood from the front, but FaZe, they defended it twice. It looks like time number 3 is up. Abizi wipes that final man out, and frankly, 20 seconds left. You look at the feed, Minnesota, they got to be desperate for that rotation.
They're going for the rotation, but look out for that number 6. Major Maniac made his way across early. Celium's going to get the final few scrap moments here. Asim trying to catch a player there as they transition out, and he does find one. Sim's just above him, though, in that power position. Now goes down. It looks like the war has been won for Minnesota on the other side of the hard point. They got themselves the barbershop. Priester upstairs now, trying to make his way forward, trying to find one of these players open by those windows, and an early pick could give Atlanta FaZe the chance to push forward. With that kill, it's not really going to work out. Chance looking good so far for Rokkr here on barbershop.
And so a setup that we've seen on this barbershop hill is for the team that doesn't actually have it. They sort of set up that trap for like the rotation over towards new, but frankly, as nice as the traps have been, teams have not been very successful at actually getting the break over towards the hill. So FaZe, opportunity potentially. You got Simp, the closest man in. Well, Assault's going to deal with him, and now the next man to approach as FaZe are just getting cut down one by one. You can see the level of difficulty it is to actually break through on this hill.
Not only the break, but we talk about the trap. Can he make it out? Can the boys of Rokkr make their way out? Major Maniac locking him down. Hardpoint time going the way. Alex did have a bit of a window to escape there, but immediately cut down again by the submachine gun fire of Atlanta FaZe, something you will see plenty of throughout this series. Røkkr still trying to make his way forward. Some semblance of top control is going to be good. A great win onto Celium there as again tries to cover the boys, give them some exit route from that last hardpoint as we now move over to construction.
Now you see Minnesota, maybe the break over towards that P1 hill. 3 bodies flying across that bridge, and Alex is the man leading the charge. It is not easy to get through on construction, but the feed apparently is there. Minnesota, Alex, the teammates were there for the perfect amount of help. You get the clean breakthrough, and that means FaZe, the trap that they set up did not last very long, and Minnesota can begin to run the score up.
10 and 9 for Assault, 11 and 7 for Abizi on the side of Atlanta FaZe. Champions either side for their squad in the kills department. Now Priester. A nice 2-piece to his name. Can he find the third? There's one just above him. Good chunk of time going the way of Minnesota Røkkr. Now when it comes to back to their mid-map control, Atlanta FaZe gearing up towards Ruins, bottom right-hand side of the mini-map for you new viewers. Look for the players now of Atlanta FaZe to try to cut these members of Rokkr down as they leave the power position of that hard point. Simp, very sneaky dead silence. Oh boy, almost got a little bit of trouble there, but 130 leading 67 now as Ruin flips. This could be a good turn now for Atlanta FaZe.
And you see the setup. This is what FaZe loves to have, right? You got one main AR set up inside the hill, and that means Sim, he can afford to be that roaming slayer. And you see able to pick up a couple kills in the feed before he finally gets dropped. The smokes from Minnesota is their clearance to make sure that they can get to the front of the hill, where Celium loves to be on his belly, sits there and waits for it, and it's because his teammates can help him out. Priesta got 2 from over top.
Good pinch there from Minnesota Røkkr. 2 angles hit at the same time. Abizi now trying to find something through the front. Hardpoint time still going the way of Atlanta FaZe. There's only 20 seconds remaining here on Ruins. Not enough to take the lead just yet. The FaZe have done a great job of getting themselves back into this one. A couple of kills now going the way of Rokkr. Cellium just towards the back line. There is a chance to get this player out, but the Rokkr members are going to try to make it as hard as they possibly can on the exit of this hardpoint. We now go back to the first hardpoint once again, to that top bridge. And this has been a very closely contested, if not a slightly, going the way of Minnesota Røkkr. But this chance is a good look to start the series off so far.
It's a good look, and you can see FaZe taking care to make sure they're set up long term. They've actually managed to secure those left side spawns potentially towards the new hill, and you see Minnesota, all those arrows on the right side are now starting that rotation over. They are slowly picking up on where those spawns are coming from, so maybe a small win of opportunity for FaZe to attempt to get through, but of course, GodRx, now he knows the situations, he's hunting, he's looking for these kills.
He finds 5 in a row. 17 and 12 overall for the young man as he tries to find his way through towards that electronic shop. In lower left-hand side of the minimap, 24 seconds remaining, and Minnesota Røkkr, again, a great hold here on bridge. GodRx lined up for an easy one here. The tag's going to be there, but again, great awareness from GodRx. Sadly, caught with a bit of bad timing. Silly can't quite find another there, as we're going to see the next 10 seconds potentially go the way of Rokkr, which is all good as well. Still have to look towards their next hardpoint. This could be a 50, maybe 60-point hold here from FaZe if they can get something big out of this one. But they're going to need it to get themselves back into this map, as again, chance is starting to get a little bit far away from FaZe.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit dicey, but this is the one hill where FaZe had a great deal of success, so they're looking for that bounce back. And of course, for Minnesota, they've tried to flood through and break through the front multiple times. This time, the smoke might help them a little bit, but this is deja vu all over again, just getting decimated on their way inside the hill. Here's the next attempt. This team is trying to lead that charge, but you can see Minnesota just struggling. You finally get one man to break through, and there's 3 more bodies for FaZe that are going to be there for the trades. And more importantly, you see number 7, Cellium, is setting up for that rotation. He does get taken care of, but either way, at least on this P2 hill, FaZe did their job, effectively got the full 60 they were looking for.
Solid hold, man. Not a bad hardpoint whatsoever. Still, that Skycam shows us the next hardpoint. Over to the barbershop we go. We have seen great success from Atlanta FaZe in the past. I mean, we dubbed Abizi the demon barber of Ramaza, but so far he's handing out nothing but, you know, cuts to the cheeks and the necks. He's not going to be getting his tip by the end of this one, as Simp finds 2 there in the kill feed. Alex still trying to control his top mid position, not able to get it done. Hardpoint goes over into the hands of Minnesota Røkkr. Now 50 points for the win. A scene with some glorious hip fire there, even with the operator foregrip. Alex holding the line as well. A strong hold. Oh, again from Minnesota Røkkr. 35 remaining. They can honestly get it done here. They can win it. Oh, no, they can't. Quick maths. Maybe. Here comes the break from FaZe, though.
Definitely can't
Not anymore. As the break from FaZe comes through. So the trap is set, chance. Time and time again, we're seeing it. On Ramaza, difficult to break out of the barbershop and get across the construction. And that play there from Major Maniac, number 6 on the minimap. He's going to make it almost impossible as Abizi finds a couple of sweet ones there on point.
Now, of course, you go to that situation where FaZe is going to be about 50 points down going into new. Obviously, Minnesota Røkkr, well, if they can break through on construction, might be able to win the game here, or multiple hills down the line. So pressure absolutely on the side of FaZe, who, well, they have the trap effectively set up once before. They have the same thing again. All 4 of these players trying to work their way out, but there's so many head glitches they have to deal with, which means Major Maniac gets to put his feet up, hang out inside the hill, at least for a little bit, while FaZe, if they have the perfect old hill, will effectively be able to tie this game up going into that, well, final ruins point.
This is textbook Ramaza right now. You see Rokkr in a great spot to try to close the map out. They can potentially get it done here, but they have to make the break work out. FaZe now repositioning, adjusting for the push. Priest are upstairs now, goes for the slide, can't quite happen. Assault, Silly, they find 2 kills. They're getting closer and closer to the point. 20 seconds remain on this one. Simp down low. Great bit of hip fire there onto Alex. He finds the first. Silly gets ripped from the staircase. A final 15 seconds, and it's going to go the way of the Rokkr. They do have rotations though, Charles. I mean, this is going to come down to the wire. FaZe have to beeline it across map.
And this is the story of Ramaza, right? Can you make the break to win the game, or is Minnesota going to be able to hold and win it here? There is not nearly enough time in this hill. Like, it will end, in fact, on this hill. And right now, Minnesota set up inside. They got the trophies out. Assault geared up and ready for war.
Here we go. FaZe now on the break. The slides come through. Assault doesn't find a single thing. GodRx with the MP5 up first. He's going to find a couple of shots, and some friendly fire comes through at an open hard point. FaZe have managed to get on it, and they're finding a lot of kills here in Minnesota. They've pushed them out somewhat. Look at that contest though, still. As both teams, they're going to be jostling for this one. Silly in a big position here to find these kills in the M4. Got to keep FaZe off it for as long as possible. Get those submachine gun players in close. That's what you want to be seeing now for Rokkr. FaZe still holding this one. Tied up, 237 each. Kills coming through. Chances, 20 seconds left. This contest has been absurd. And with that, Rokkr, they may have blessed themselves. They've got to make the push now though. They've got decent spawns, but there's no one there. There's no one in position. Rokkr have got to go. Get on the point. They can't get it done. Atlanta FaZe. They Ramaza Rokkr in map number 1.
In devastating fashion, I will say as well. Again, Minnesota, in my mind, it's a necessity that they get that map 1 win. They play Ramaza quite frequently. FaZe, it is not their best starting point, but maybe this is a FaZe that have turned their weaknesses into their strengths. And by the way, Simp threw up 34 beans on the board in the kills department, had himself a very solid performance on map number 1.
Oh boy, that is a stinger. That's a real stinger for the boys of Rokkr. I mean, we came close enough. Let's have a quick look now at the stats. Oh man, what a start to the day this has been. 237 and 250 overall. You called the beans from Simp, 34 of them in total. No one really on the Rokkr as close in the kills department, but man, it's not easy. We talk about being punished easily on there on Ramaza. What a fantastic start to the series though. Atlanta FaZe take it up by 1. I mean, that would have been a truly crucial round to win there for Rokkr chance. The respawns have been difficult for FaZe. They've been dropping a lot of map 1s though. I mean, they have been struggling in those map 1s. It's typically in the map 4 where they find the hardpoint successes as of recent, but Rokkr so close yet so far, mate.
Yeah, and FaZe has also had like kind of the theme of like they're dropping hard points, but they're also like not losing in the slaying department. They've been having problems on rotation where they're not fearful of having to force themselves to break a hill, but they don't really set themselves up very often to get those full 60 holds. Like anytime FaZe does get there first, normally it's a great look, right? We saw that on the P2 hill there on Ramaza, both times effectively getting that full 60, but the rotation battle has not been key for them. But what we saw this game, biggest moment over towards Barbershop, that P3 second time around. Not only was FaZe able to set up the trap, making sure they get all that time over on construction, but they actually broke through and started really chipping away at the time that Minnesota was able to build up. And like, you have a 13-point game at the end. If you go back and rewatch that hill, that was maybe 30 seconds that FaZe made sure that Minnesota was not able to get. So they made the corrections from the first set of rotations, making sure they break through on one of the best money hills we have in the game. They have that level of success. You get the ball rolling early on for FaZe, the perfect start.
As you can see, the quick scope on screen brought to you by the US Air Force, and again, a hardpoint record for both teams. Not too bad, but FaZe 31-19 certainly leading the charge there, and in the S&D as well, a chance 26-14. We do have a gun runner coming up next after this one. Again, our maps and modes brought to you by the US Air Force. Ramaza hardpoint is done. FaZe get the win. A double dose now of gun runner, chance to go into that search and destroy, and I don't think this is a good look so far for Minnesota Røkkr. This is going to be a difficult one for them to get into.
Yeah, this is like, again, one of the biggest reasons I was saying why map 1 was so important for Minnesota is because that gun runner S&D, this has been FaZe's home. They love it. I think Selim has the S&D kill record of the league with 18 kills. He did it on this map. They are a force to be reckoned with, so best of luck for Minnesota.
Best of luck indeed. So a quick look at our Grubhub picks of the day. You know what's coming.
Baby.
Let's get it. I went for Simp because I think he's disgusting. You went for Asim, man. That was a good pick, dude. I'm a big fan of Asim. Merc went for Celium. Again, quite a safe one. But dude, give me a little bit of love for Asim while we get into this.
Well, the Asim thing is the last tournament we saw from Minnesota. Obviously, the meta is different now than it was last time we saw them play. But when the meta shifted, he went from being the entry man, dropping a .9, making plays for his team, to main slayer. Asim flipped the switch when his team needed him to step up. He absolutely did. And, well, it's the final home series of the year. This is the time where they need someone to step up even further. And I was thinking Asim would be that guy. We saw a couple nice runs in the hard point, but obviously not enough in the end.
Yeah, done. Well, now it's the most important part of the day as we talk about our food chance. I think you're coming up first, mate. I think it's tried and tested, but it's for you, this is a little bit of a combo, my friend. Talk us what you bought.
Look, all right, I eat pizza. That's 90% of my diet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Had to get that in the mix. And then occasionally, I'll try to mix things up to try to be a little bit healthier. I threw some sushi, but frankly, I'm running out of original ideas. I eat 3 different kinds of food. I own 1 single candle, and I'm running out of real estate to take these pictures, so I'm in desperation mode, Miles. I really am.
Mate, I like it. So I thought with this home series, again, we're coming to the last home series of the year. I thought I would set the clock back and reminisce. So this is a shot of my bedroom that my wife and I share in our apartment now that we finally have an apartment. And you can see on the bed there is a pizza. This is a true throwback, man. We have 2 little glasses of champagne. We were celebrating having a home for the first time in over a year. Again, I understand it looks a little bit like a crack den. Give aside the laptop there as we're enjoying some fine viewing. There's your boy in all his hairy glory. And actually, funny enough, we did eat that exact same pizza last night as well. So in theory, while these images may be almost a month and a half apart, the meal we ate is absolutely identical. And again, we do give a lot of love to Grubhub and to all those small restaurants that are struggling through this difficult time. Again, do what you can to give back to all those restaurants that are having a tough time with things right now. From the times of 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in your time zone, you can get $10 off orders of $30 or more. Head to the perks section of the app and do what you can through Grubhub. We're absolutely loving it. Grubhub has actually saved my life, Chance. I told you that at the start of quarantine. There was no food in downtown LA. Grubhub literally saved the day. It was amazing. What a crazy year this has been. Anyway, into the search and destroy we now go, brother. Let's get into it.
Well, apparently Minnesota is going to need some Grubhub to save their lives as well, because again, this is not an easy map to be going up against FaZe against. And again, the hot start that was a necessity was not there, so the amount of production they're going to have to throw on the board is the best S&D that Minnesota has played all year. That is what they need to win this game.
Let's see if they can bring it. Beezy's going to start this one off with a typical first blood of him. Overextends somewhat there into the bottom side of pipes. Gets that early kill. Asim. A couple of tags, not able to fully answer back. Again, running the light barrel there on the M4. Incredibly quick ADS time. Major Maniac on screen now. As Atlanta FaZe make their way forward. Cell does a great bit of work there onto Silly. Again, Minnesota's numbers now starting to thin out. This is a 3 versus 5. There's a solid presence on the defense there, on towards B.
And frankly, at this point, where do you go? 43 seconds left. You're going to get shot basically at any angle you face. Maybe Assault has the opportunity to go on a flank, but you see FaZe, everybody's watching it. Simp takes care of that. And now GodRX is like, all right, I just have to gun 3 people on my way towards this B bomb. It is tough.
Strong angle there from Priester. Scene goes down. There's your first. Not able to get any more. The defense holds as FaZe, a very patient round. They go up 1-0.
And just super classic clinical stuff from them as well, right? Abizi, whether or not it's actually in vents or just right around the same area, he has been a first blood wizard on this map. I think, frankly, since we've gone to online, I think he has 50, I guess now 51 first bloods. I have to imagine if he's not leading the league, he is towards the top. This is his domain. It's what he loves to do. And it's not just Abizi with the first bloods, it's everyone else on the team that is constantly going to be filling in lanes, watching everything properly. They're too good.
How good can they be, though? The Abizi once again finds those openings. A beautiful window to work with an Abizi. He will be slammed shut there by a nice nade. Alex finds 2. Can't quite get away from this one, but this is a nicer look on the defense now from Rokkr. I take it all back. It's a 1 versus 3 again. And in just a moment's time, the round could all be done.
All but done. And frankly, GodRX, like, it's information that he has, but that is the only potential advantage. And of course, they know where they need to look as well. Priest has got 1 cross, Major Maniac for the other, and the 1v1 is quick enough from the hands of Major Maniac to take him down. And frankly, again, this is FaZe at their best, at a map they love the most, just putting in clinical work.
Yep, a tough one. We talk about vetoes being very important. Again, what map gets through in the picks, so the coaches get that work done. This is a big win from Atlanta FaZe. One of their favorites manages to get through. Rokkr, very close, but no cigar there on Ramaza, so now they have to go absolutely Herculean, truly godlike here on Gunrunner. And Abizi, he's back at it again. Through the smoke, 1, maybe another. No, the good crossfire comes through there. Gonna find the kill from Assault, but Simp, down range, Simp finds 2. There's 1 more to be had. What positioning from Atlanta FaZe here. This push towards A from Rokkr has been destroyed as Simp finds his 3rd. And Assault now in a 1 versus 4.
This is literally metal boots assault where they can hear him. They know he's on those steps. No dead silence, making a ton of noise. And, well, if they didn't know before, they definitely do now. And this is a situation where I don't even have advice. I have nothing to offer other than prayer of how you could possibly clutch this round.
FaZe start to tighten the noose. 3-0. Incredibly clinical rounds.
And then just for my own sanctity, there's a BZ 3 for 3 first bloods, if I'm correct on that.
Yep.
And then everything else, I think it's just the ARs posted up getting kills, whether it's Selim laying belly down somewhere on the map or Simp. Just picking up 3 pieces like it's nothing but a beautiful day's work for him. Clean and easy. Again, Gunrunner S&D, I'll have to go back and see exactly what Minnesota banned, but they let it through. They had something cooked up and at least 3 rounds deep. Well, they only have 4 total kills.
And the final fifth, the BZ. Lightning fast pressure on towards B. He's got a huge amount of control from that spot now. Great win from Priester, not able to get the second. But again, a BZ's position now just makes this side of the bomb so much safer for his teammates to work with. He's got a little bit of mid-map control. But that bomb site, now all there. Godoric's trying to find something on the flank. He's going to get the arm down now. He's got to see Røkkr fight their way back onto this site. Cell, nice spot to be in. The bomb site is a very powerful position to find fights from. Case in point, still he almost gets it done. A BZ flying through the air there, up over the top of the barrels and into the kill feed. Godoric's once again in a 1 versus 3 situation. Cut to ribbons. This is a clinic from FaZe.
It's completely suffocating. Like, I will say, the one adjustment that Minnesota made, which I liked, is they figured out a way to not give a BZ first blood. Know if he's going towards the B site, abandon it. Just ignore the part of the map that a BZ is going to be on. Of course, though, that just means someone else from FaZe is going to be able to draw or make that first strike. This time it was Priesta, but again, everything just perfect. A BZ gets in the right spot. The trade's on point. The challenges from the site from Selim on point. The hit fire, by the way, that he was getting, completely on point. This is a clean and easy 4-0 thus far. Looking for those final 2 rounds.
There's another first blood to add to the pile. It answers back very quickly, and again, you got to look at the pace at which both these teams are trying to play this one. A nice nade from Assault's going to make this look a little bit more friendly for Minnesota Røkkr and now Selim. You have to laugh. Downrange through smoke. That is a huge kill. Tried and true. FaZe now. Trying to fight retake. 3v3. A brilliant win from Asim there. Nice shots onto the second player as well. That's a huge bit of work come out of Asim. Priester battling tooth and nail, trying to get back on this site. 1 versus 3 technically. Gonna make it a 1 versus 1 if he can win this next fight. There's the spring. The trap is set, and Røkkr stop the bleeding for now. 4-1.
And shout outs to Asim. Again, that's why he was my Grubhub pick of the day, is he's been the man recently that has stepped up for the team. He picked up 2 massive kills there. Selim tried to get aggressive, and then he gets the kill on Simp as well. So that's what it takes, you know? Like, we're expecting at this point, a BZ is going to get the first blood. Make sure you just trade him out, take him down, set yourselves up in at least a 4v4, and maybe don't even bother throwing smokes. Selim has fantastic vision. They do not affect him in the slightest.
Yep. Knows his lanes, knows his angles. BZ now looking for another first blood. At this point in time, just like back up, let him run into your guns and find something special. When a BZ, look at this overextension. Man, he is in the wrong part of town. He has no idea. The GPS has sent him on a wrong one and he's managed to get it. It wasn't technically the first blood for him for the round, but it was certainly for himself in the kill feed. Cell finds another 3 versus 4. Godoric's has to back up. Slow this down. He may have caught a shadow of a BZ. The stun's going to make this a little harder. Finally now. A little bit of a change. Minnesota find a few kills, make it a 3v3. Major Maniac watching the flank. Simp, though, finds the angle up front. The pressure now straight onto the bomb site. Cell actually doesn't finish the plant. 45 seconds remain. Very, very concerned about the push that's now working through the back. Major Maniac on the flank. He does find his kill. So all things considered, this is fantastic from FaZe. Positioning all over the map, chance gets it done. Map point 5-1.
And it was such an interesting attempt by the Røkkr as well, because like it was one of the most like rare sort of setups that we've seen from a team where they actually managed to get on defense 2 bodies over towards green. They had all the pressure, all the control, and that makes planning over towards the B site incredibly difficult. And then in spite of that, still through the chaos, through the different sort of round, you still have FaZe making the perfect reads, the perfect plays. Simp hunting down the man that's on the flank, or at least getting the kill while he's on the flank. And then of course Major Maniac on the flip side, watching the flank of his own, getting kills on both sides of the board. It is It's just such a tough team to play against on this map. It really is.
Here we go, once again, Abizi just trying to sniff out those kills. Cracks this door. And there's the kill from Silly. Nice work from Rokkr. 2 kills go their way. Full sight control over towards B. Gotta watch out for Sim though on the flank. Great shots from Sim at range with the MP5. That positioning is going to really help out. As Sim now trying to find something in the back. Dead Silence popped. Beautiful work. At the cost of the Dead Silence, it seems worth it. Major Maniac though, straight onto the site. In and out he goes with a powerful hit and run. Finds the kill under the player on the bomb site. 3 versus 2 now. It seems Dead Silence comes to an end. As the attention now goes towards A. Watch the defense now shift. I think number 6 is going to be Major Maniac. His instincts are up. He knows there's a change. There it is. What a spot that was. Get that nade up and out over towards the bomb site. The cook. Beautiful throw from Major Maniac. What a nade that is. 2 versus 2 now. And chance this is coming down to the wire. Final 15 seconds. 2v2. Cell goes down. Silly with a big win. Grabs that bomb. Can we find the kill on a Major Maniac, or will he secure the round? He does get the kill. That's a big one from Major Maniac. 6-1. What a search. What a round. Atlanta FaZe. Oh my god, that was disgusting.
And like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? You finally have the good round. You finally get the advantage. Now you're like, oh, 3v2, this is great. Who's alive on the other team? Cellium and Major Maniac. And you're like, crap, it is not over. There's a lot of work that needs to be put in. And talk about perfectly played, right? You get the timing on the cross perfectly, gets the shots in, cooks the nade, and hits the bounce shot to make sure you get the kill. And then the 2v2 after that, you get the trade, you find the pick on Silly. And then one of the most important things, by the way, pros are fantastic at this, but the lower like rated player sort of that you go, after you get the kill, everyone's instinct is to reload. Major Maniac thought about it for a second. He's like, wait a minute, there's 5 seconds left. He has to challenge. I just need to be ready for the gunfight. Does literally everything perfectly from top to bottom just to seal the deal with the dominant 6-1 win.
Dominant 6-1 win. Our tactical play will no doubt be that last round. Chance, you brought it up brilliantly, but here we go. The US Army tactical play, round 7. What an unbelievable clinic that was from Atlanta FaZe to demolish Rokkr on that map. And again, the writing was on the wall to a degree, but still, Chance, I mean, the way they got that done, that could not have been better from Atlanta FaZe. It just couldn't have been better.
Yeah, like Major Maniac is just such a good Call of Duty player. Like, he's the most overlooked guy on this team, like by a mile. And it makes sense just because of Respawn. There's not a lot he has had to do throughout the year, but these are the moments where he has the opportunity to shine, and he seizes the day. He carpes the DMs and just makes sure that he effectively gets somewhat of a 1v3 towards the end. And again, it cannot be possibly expressed enough. It was just consistent. 3 different situations he found himself in the span of 20-25 seconds. He did all 3 of them perfectly, including the bank shot. The nice little flare, the nice little finishing touch to at least kick off that series of events.
It couldn't have been better for Major Maniac. Our US Army tactical play, Major Maniac, starting with the nade. 3 kills that would just secure the goods. And the first nade lands, perfect reposition. He wins a very big gunfight against Silly on bomb. And at the end of the day, man, I mean, the clutch up there in computers against Alex for the map. Absolutely absurd stuff. And again, the timing on this was great. It was a matter of moments, but he knew the fight was coming to him. Kudos to Major Maniac. What a round of search and destroy that was, my friend. Wow.
And I can't imagine what it's like in your comms against him when you're getting bullied out like this on Gunrunner. You finally have that good situation. You're calling out who's left. And those are the 2 names that you have to make sure everyone is on the same page. Like, there is genuinely never a moment where you can afford to relax or make any small mistakes, or you will get punished, especially in search and destroy. And that is, again, just a teaser of what FaZe is capable of.
A wonderful teaser of what they're capable of. Rokkr now certainly staring down the barrel of a 3-0 as we go into this domination. However, I still stand true to my prediction. There is a chance they could throw this one back, but FaZe are certainly looking strong. Game 3 now coming up. What a series it has been so far. Certainly very memorable. Heart 8 for Rokkr, but we'll find out after the break how this one ends. Don't go anywhere.
Liquor in my slurpee and I slurp. Wet, cold, ice.
Hey Brewster, welcome to Toronto Islands, one of the most beautiful and tranquil places in the city. Let's go for a bike ride. Car.
Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day with the #1 brand in prepaid. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The United States Air Force. Learn more at airforce.com.
This is your Scuff Team of the Week, a super team built with 5 of the top performers at the most recent event. This week, we're picking 5 players from the London home series. First up, it's Wuskins. A familiar face on Scuff Team of the Week, Wuskins joins the team once again after a stellar showing in the second London home series. While the team finished top 4 in a heartbreaking fashion, losing to the Paris Legion in a Game 5 Round 11, Wuskins was a standout player all weekend long. His AR gameplay was top-notch as always, and his sniping just seemed to get better and better. Across 49 rounds of S&D his team played, Wuskins scored 24 kills with the sniper. Next is Wuskins' twin brother, Scraps. What a fantastic weekend for the Marshall twins. Wuskins brought the AR power for the Ravens, and Scraps delivered some major SMG pressure. Scraps lit it up in every game mode, scoring some of the best event KDs in the respawns and the 8th highest KD in S&D. We saw his best performance of the event during London's match versus Paris in the semifinals. Although the Ravens ultimately lost the match, Scraps played out of his mind. He dropped a massive 15 kills in the first S&D before going 33-11 on the very next map, St. Petrograd Domination. Third, it's Hook of the Dallas Empire. Hook was one of the most consistent players of the London home series, only going negative in 2 of the 13 maps he played over the weekend. And even then, he was barely negative. Hook had some of the best respawn KDs of the event, but S&D is where he shone the brightest. He had the most S&D kills per round of any player, scoring 31 kills in the 33 rounds he played. Also repping Dallas is Crim6. Mr. Ian Porter makes his first Scuff Team of the Week appearance after winning his 3rd CDL title of the year, and probably the bajillionth title of his competitive COD career. Crim6 had a solid performance throughout the whole tournament, but he really came to life in the finals, ending that last series of the event with an impressive 1.5 KD. Of all the game modes, his Domination stood out the most. He had the 7th highest Dom KD of the field, and even ended the tournament with a respectable 25-16 game on Gunrunner Dom. And finally, it's Shotzzy. What more could be said about this young player? He started the year slow, but has quickly blossomed into the cornerstone member of the Dallas Empire roster. This little respawn monster had the highest Hardpoint KD with a 1.45 in addition to scoring the highest overall KD of the event with an impressive 1.29. Shotzzy had his best showing of the weekend during Dallas's 2 matches versus the Paris Legion. The first time they matched up, Shotzzy dropped a staggering 1.43 on him. When they met up again in the finals, he turned it up to another level and dropped a 1.74, the best series KD of the entire event by far. That's your London home series Scuff Team of the Week.
That was your Scuff Gaming Team of the Week. Welcome back, friends, to the Call of Duty League, the Toronto Ultra Home Series. Day 1, we are only 2 maps in, and oh boy, do we have one hell of a day for you. Game 3, coming up now between Atlanta FaZe and Minnesota Røkkr. FaZe up 2-0 in this series after an absolute stomping, a schooling there on Gunrunner in the Search and Destroy. And it was close but no cigar for Minnesota Røkkr on the Hardpoint Remaster map number 1. But now, chance, as we very, very soon to get into this game, Gunrunner Domination, potentially to close out the series 3-0 for FaZe.
Yeah, and I'm very concerned for Minnesota. They need to figure out a way to stop the sim show. Like, he dropped 34 in the first Hardpoint, just dropped 11 in the Search and Destroy. And the way he's doing it, like, other than the 3-piece feed he had in the Search, it's not like he's super flashy. It's literally just like every single life he'll get 2 kills before he dies. And just across the board, that adds up to so much production that he's a difficult man to be stopped. Now
Can sit on this B flag and finish it himself. His teammates now pushing out to provide some pressure in towards C. This could be the makings of a trip cap for a moment here. Chance to keep him pinned in towards Forest. Nah, there it is. Number 7, Selim goes down. But wow, what a turnaround here. FaZe, things were looking a little dangerous for a moment, and in one loud bang, A and B control again.
And you see also how quick Major Maniac is to respond and make sure that the overextension to A doesn't come through. So Minnesota, you see going back and forth, trying to juggling the pressure towards A or towards B, and making FaZe have to respond to this pressure. Now, maybe a bit of an opportunity here to capture up this B flag. Assault's going to be hanging out while Alex leads that charge. And yes, Alex falls, but the job is well done. Minnesota, that little seesaw effect is enough for them to get B.
Enough to get B in Assault. That was a great 1v1. Now can you take Selim as well? Oh, it was the last bullet in the magazine he needed, and he just couldn't have it. Still, the teammates show up. B is now made secure. You see FaZe spawn towards the far left-hand side. They're going to be slowing this one down again, expecting the overextension, expecting that overextended push over towards the A flag. Alex is sitting in bottom green there, trying to hold this line. Asim trying to take care of mid-map. And here come the kills. FaZe now raking their way through the middle, 1 kill at a time. Over towards C they go. They're going to be able to get that one. We're going to swap hands for now. The members of Rokkr on towards A. It's going to come down to Major Maniac on the defense. Can he do anything here in a 1 versus what, 4 maybe situation? 3. He goes down. There's the trade. The flags will change hands.
Well, at the same time, though, on A, it's not quite captured up yet. So Prisa, yeah, tried to go for it. Minnesota, though, got this kill.
Oh, wait. Sim with another 2. Then they get A for now. Asim's alone on B. They're going to be spawning there for the time being, but wow, C flag well and truly safe now for FaZe. A has a little bit of pressure there. Is that going to be a BZ in the backside of the warehouse now? The kill comes through from Asim. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. We're not out of the woods just yet. You got to hold the defense at B now if you're Rokkr. Man, this is a tight Dom game. It's far from over. You got to see some special stuff coming out of Rokkr now, and with that kill, it could well be it. The clearing at C. Chance, are we done? Is it over?
It's absolutely not over, right? You can get 12 points with a 2 flag setup over there. That's exactly what Minnesota has with less than a minute. They're only down by 10. So at this moment in time, Minnesota wins it by a tick or 2 for FaZe. They want to get the neutralization. They try to go to A. They get stuffed. In Minnesota, they can either hold or maybe if they need to be desperate, start to go towards the C flag because that neutral comes through. So, well, now we're officially in desperation mode.
7 points separating these 2 teams. Push in towards B. That's what you got to do if you're Rokkr now. You've got Asim trying to make something happen on the C flag. Once again, Selim playing defense there. It's going to be an easy kill for him in just a moment as he does get it. That's going to make A safe. Oh boy. Starting to get a little bit dicey, a little bit too dangerous. That could well be it. The final few pushes now. The final few kills. 15 seconds. As Røkkr, they fought hard in Ramaza. They were absolutely slaughtered on the gun runner search. And here it's just fallen out of reach for them in the Dom. That's going to be that. A 3-0 to Atlanta FaZe. And a much better looking form there from the Atlanta squad.
And this is a squad that is looking to peak at the right time of the year. They've been getting criticized for all the close matches. They've been getting bullied out just a little bit in these past few home series, but we stated it at the top of the show. This is the tournament. This is the most competition we have, and this is the best indication of where the teams are going to be going into champs. And Atlanta FaZe could not have asked for a better start. The quick 3-0, the hot 3-0. And yes, the respawns were a little bit close, but they got the job done. They executed it when it mattered most, and that is a hell of a way to kick off this Toronto home series.
Again, the questions for FaZe after what had been a couple of bad weekends, man. I mean, not bad, and again, we keep saying this. We keep going back to this idea that FaZe, it's been hit and miss. It's not been as good as it should be. A bad weekend for FaZe is still an amazing weekend overall, but all things considered, they're looking in a very good spot now, and again, the competition could not be tighter at these Toronto home series. But that's going to be it, a 3-0. Now, we understand there was a bit of a technical issue as we look at the stats. Once again, we thank you all for your patience as we lost feed, I believe, for about 3 minutes. But if you just joined us, it's a 3-0 for Atlanta FaZe. FaZe fans rejoice. Again, I know there's a lot of Minnesota Røkkr fans out there, probably a socially distanced, safe viewing party, or at least in a server somewhere enjoying the chats. And again, we wish you the sort of commiserations of the 3-0 there, and thanks again for your patience as we get through this technical issue. I'm not quite sure if we're on camera or not, but hey, I'm just going to keep smiling like we are, Chance. But mate, that was a pretty good series for Atlanta FaZe. They move themselves forward in the group. For Rokkr now, again, their position is safe in the standings. They will still start in the winners bracket when it comes to playoffs, but you have to question that form. Do you have any doubts now about the position Rokkr's in? Or are you feeling that, that Ramaza Hardpoint was a close enough series, a close enough map, and at times it's just a few mistakes here or there? Obviously, the map pool's a little different for them, but what are your feels towards Rokkr?
I'm very concerned about Rokkr. I mean, again, 2 series win in the past 4 home series tournaments that they've had. It would have been one of those things where, like, had everything not been online, I would have had that default, like, saving grace, but they've just been struggling since that switch has been made, and so far, they haven't shown many signs of life. Maybe the good news is, like, the group that they're in is probably the most stacked group we've had this entire year, so at the very least, they are getting some very solid practice in. They are going to be able to find out exactly what their weaknesses are long term, but it's just tough, man. Like, you got either Florida or Dallas to look forward to after this. This is a tough tournament for the Minnesota Røkkr.
Well, we'll have a quick look now at our scuff play of the game. It was going to be Simp, my grub pick of the day, who managed to do everything he possibly could to start to pull that map away. And again, it was quite closely contested. We saw a decent start from Rokkr in the first half, but Simp and the boys of Atlanta FaZe, once they started to get things going, that pain train was not stopping anytime soon. Nothing those breaks could do from Rokkr. And at the end of the day, Chance, a very, very convincing win of the Dom. Again, the maps were there, the records were there, the stats were there to back up FaZe from start to finish. And aside from that Ramaza, it was very much an open and shut case.
Okay, and again, I think even through and through, including the Ramaza, like, FaZe played a very controlled, very smart game. Like, Sim might have got the play of the game, but it's not like he had to do anything completely crazy. Like, it was very controlled from start to finish of, like, here's the steps we're going to get. Minnesota's overextending or doing whatever, like, X is. Y was there for the execute for FaZe every single time. They always had a response, always had an answer. And then, of course, that S&D was a sight to behold. Just one team, clear cut, knows exactly what they want on Gunner S&D, and well, FaZe again at a certain point they were just showing off.
Yeah, showing off is an interesting way of putting it. I think we had this feeling with FaZe at the start of the game, which feels like a lifetime ago at this point in time, where we were like, okay, they're really flexing on folks. They are showing off. They've got such a massive lead on the rest of the competition. How long is it going to take for everyone to catch up? How long is it going to take everyone to sort of get a piece of this or get to this level? And it felt like it took a while, man. It was only the last sort of 3, maybe 4 home series we've really seen teams push FaZe the distance. We saw that massive 3-0 from the Huntsmen from them again. Do you think this is the same FaZe? Do you think they're back to that strong form, or could we potentially see another big upset for this team here at this event?
Well, I mean, the cop-out answer is it doesn't matter what I think, because this is the tournament where we get to find out for sure. But I've been on the page for FaZe where I haven't been concerned, even with all the Game 5s that they had. I'm like, well, they're still winning them. They're still great at search. Like, teams are getting closer, but that's natural. So I think this FaZe team is going to be a force to be reckoned with for anyone that you stack up against them. But obviously, they have a lot to prove because Dallas looked incredible. I think Florida them the last time they faced off. So obviously FaZe has to kick it up a notch. And again, the 3-0 that we just saw is the perfect way to maybe send a message to everybody else that they're playing against of like, all right, we've knocked some of the rust off. We know it's the end of the year. We know this is when the sleeping giant must wake up.
Or sleeping giant, I mean, sleeping terrorists, if you will. But for FaZe, a big win to start off the day. And again, our Game Fuel marquee match. Really, we know there's going to be some fun games today, but that one will have the largest impacts potentially on the future of the standings here in the CDL, of the future of the seeds going into that playoffs, you know, upcoming in August. Mate, what a day this has already been. We've got ourselves our first series of the day wrapped up, but now it's time to look at the Sony Open Series. Chance, we've been bringing you the best CDL competition all year long here at the pro level, but with challengers, we want to show some love to the third rung of that ladder as well. We spent some time checking out the PS4 Tournament's Call of Duty monthly finals for North America. Take a look.
Welcome to the PS4 Tournament's Open Series, Call of Duty Monthly Finals for North America. We started with 128 teams. Now we're down to the top 8, ready to battle it out. With almost 800 trophies between the two, Team Joshua was ready to throw that weight around.
That's right, and they came out swinging with a vicious 6-1 win. No doubt a force to be reckoned with.
I felt like every situation they were put in to go up 5-0s.
But don't sleep on 2, Pete, as they were able to take down Team Joshua by outgunning them and coming away with the W on Vacant.
Stun is out. He might be able to clutch this. Battle hardened on the side of Asta, and he wins a huge fight to get the win. Now we're going to game number 3.
And what a game it was. 2P put up a fight, but Joshua remained composed even when the odds were stacked up against them.
10 seconds remaining. Beautiful 2v1 clutch out of stock.
They sure did, and it secured them a place in the grand final. As we saw earlier, Joshua likes to come in hot.
These guys aren't missing.
They made quick work of the first map, shutting down Sneckles 6-0.
Oh my god.
And Joshua didn't stop there, carrying through the momentum to the next map and taking home top prize.
Just like that, we're gonna have Team Joshua, our champion. That was a dominant finals.
Dominant finals.
Congratulations to Joshua on an incredible performance here in the PS4's Tournament's Open Series Call of Duty Monthly Finals.
Think you got game? Sign up at compete.playstation.com and you could be crowned our next champs.
PlayStation